This is a bit one. Isa to John, and then from John to Ignatius. That's another one.
You know
and then there's another one from Isa to John, and then from John to Papias.
You know what's the difference?
What's the difference?
The difference is the isnad that we are talking about is an isnad that started with the mouth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
But these are eyewitnesses.
To our days, nowadays,
wait.
each person of every single generation.
But we have the same.
An entire generation that memorize it.
But we have the same.
No, it's not the same.
It is the same. It's the same eyewitnesses. John was the apostle of Isa.
Generations.
Yeah.
And then you have the fourth or the fifth or the sixth generation. Where is the fourth generation?
No, I have an isnad for you. No, I can tell you an isnad with no gap. It's a complete isnad that is sahih, that is mutawatir. There's at least 3 independent people saying it.
No, mutawatir,
you see?
it's not 3 persons.
Well, okay, so how much mutawatir?
Mutawatir, you have
It depends, exactly, yes.
A lot of people.
Because there are different scholars.
In different places that say the exact same thing, and it would make that
keep in mind,
to be alive.
Okay, so I understand that, but I'm only giving you one, and that's through John.
Yeah.
I can do the same through Mark, and I could do you understand? I could do through Peter. I can give you isnad through different. Isa's brother. You know, Isa had a brother.
James. Sorry, you seem to not know what is it mutawatir in Islamic science.
So it is a complete isnad that is sahih, and also not just a singular one, ahad, but rather multiple independent people, all through independent, and so they're not repeating the same people. That's what mutawatir is.
No.
It's successive chains.
Mutawatir, you have different chains of narration.
Yeah, they're all different throughout the whole one. Yeah, I could do the same.
From different people, a lot of people. They can have like 100 people that say the
but we have the same
thing.
So you see,
in every single generation till 2024.
We can do. We have the same. The bishop of Antioch. First, it was the first bishop was Peter, and we have the entire line of succession all the way to today. Did you just get? Oh, you legend! He's just got the whole. This is the chain of succession. Yeah. We have this today.
You have one.
No, from multiple different people.
Yeah, but to say what? To say what?
Yeah,
the chain that says
and Jesus' brother. Jesus' brother. We have it through him.
Where is the chain of narration that attests that this is the book of God?
Point. The chain that we have, the multiple different Sahih Mutawatir ones we have, they all say the same things. Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus was crucified. Jesus resurrected again. He was born of a virgin. He is the divine God incarnate in man. They say these things.
Why like?
Wait.
Just not saying these things.
They were saying these things. They weren't. Well, first of all, they're written there, but
did not believe in this.
No. The first generations quoted from this. They wrote letters. Polycarp wrote letters to Irenaeus, saying, quoting like the beginning of John's Gospel. And Polycarp studied under John.
Called Muslim metaphysical.
Yeah. Cool. I'd love to debate him if I ever. But my point is that if the science have hadith is a good science that tells you what Muhammad said, you have to accept the same science should tell us what Isa said. And that's the problem, because we know, using the same science, the same methodology, we know what Isa said, and he said what is written here. So in other words, we can actually reconstruct our scripture through letters from the church fathers.
You don't have that certainty, right?
We don't have what, sorry?
You don't have that certainty, right?
We don't have the certainty.
The certainty that this text is from all of it.
The eyewitness mentioned the text.
Yeah, but where is the chain of narration? This is
again, John to Polycarp to Irenaeus, that's one. John to Ignatius, that's two. John to Papias, that's three. I just gave you 3 independent Sahih eyewitness accounts.
No, that's not the question.
My friend.
The question is, do you have one isnad from the mouth of Jesus, alayhi salam, peace be upon him, that brings to you this exact Bible right now?
The same doctrines, yeah.
The same exact Bible.
No, wait. Think of it this way. If I can't reproduce the whole Bible, right? I can't reproduce it just from what they say. But that's not the thing. I can quote you them. So the very first verse of Mark says that Jesus is the Son of God. The very first opening verse, right? Church fathers quoted that verse.
Many prophets are called Son of God in the Bible. So
the Son of God. Okay, all right then. These guys being disciples of John quote John. They quote his prologue, where Jesus is called the Word that is made incarnate, and that through the Word everything that was made.
Yeah, but it's like a metaphor.
But my point is why would you not accept what the early disciples of Isa said, But you have the same methodology and you use it to establish what Muhammad said and his companions said.
Because when we analyze it, it's the same methodology.
It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Okay, give me the principles. Give me the principles.
When you have a mutawatir hadith, you have, for example, 100% that say the same exact hadith.
Most hadith is ahad.
This is mutawatir.
Yeah, most hadith that is sahih, that is in Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, is ahad.
So the Quran
it's only one chain. I gave you 3.
We are talking about Quran.
Quran. But my point is the Quran alone is not what you believe in. Also believe in hadith. And in the Sunnah, the way you establish it is mostly through ahad.
Yeah,
hadith.
Because we know every single narrator.
Okay, so you accept
when he was born, when he's dead.
That's fine. That's fine. So you accept that you will accept one hadith, single ahad hadith in order to establish what Muhammad said. Why will you not apply the same thing to Isa's disciples?
Because you have gaps.
No, there are no gaps.
Yes.
Isa, John, Ignatius, that's one. Isa, John, Polycarp, Irenaeus, that's another. Isa.
Until now, this is the question.
He just showed you. We have so basically in our religion, you have this is the Orthodox Christian. So it starts with Peter the Apostle. I actually mentioned him in the ahad I gave you in the chain. I actually mentioned that one.
Wait.
He was the bishop of Antioch. And what is this? This is the chain. I believe this is the chain of all the way of Antioch. In the bishopric of Antioch, which is in Syria, all the way from St. Peter the Apostle, all the way to today. It's an unbroken chain.
This is a patriarchal succession.
And Antioch,
it is not an isnad. It is a patriarchal succession. It is not an isnad. Patriarchal
yes,
succession.
It's a patriarch through all the things, yes.
Yeah, but you don't have the narration, exact narration that said that he told this to this.
No. When you have succession, they have something called laying of hands. So a bishop would lay their hands on the one who they have succeed them as bishop for the bishopric. So in other words, you would have face-to-face communication, and the knowledge that one bishop has is passed to another.
Yeah, but
you also remember the bishop would also likely have a written text.
I didn't get it, sorry.
So if you're a bishop, right, you likely have a written text of the Gospels, for example, right? Yeah. So that's passed on and passed on and passed on. I can give you the bishopric of Alexander. The Alexander's a really interesting one.
I know. Yeah.
They're all over.
It does not seem to be like a real isnad. Like you don't have the text that they spoke.
No, we have their writings.
To the right.
No, we have their writings. We have Polycarp's writings. You know that. We have them.
One of them.
Yeah, and we have Ignatius's, and we have Irenaeus' writings, and we have Papias' writings. Yeah, but all this is mutawatir then, isn't it? If you have 4 independent people all saying Jesus is the Son of God, Jesus was crucified and resurrected, you have mutawatir.
Because
you see, my friend.
Mutawatir is what is being transmitted as a generation, a whole generation. Yeah. This is mutawatir. Yeah. You don't have that. This is the point.
I don't understand what you mean by generation.
An entire generation of
these are generations.
Like all of
this is Isa to his disciples, the disciples of his disciples. This is the Sahaba, the Tabi'un, the Tabi'al Tabi'in. It's that.
Okay, what?
What is being narrated or said by a multiple number of people?
I have the same.
5 people.
But a lot of the Sunnah is only ahad.
Yes, it's ahad, but it's not the same standard. When you have ahad,
no, because it's still sahih and it's still authentic.
Not every ahad.
There are many. The majority of
hadith.
Right.
We know every single person that is in the chain of narration.
So do we.
Every single person.
So do we. I gave you the names of all of them.
Yeah, but where
I even told you where they worked.
Show me an example of a narration of Jesus when he spoke something and they transmitted it.
The narration is their writings. So I can get you the writings.
This is the writing. This is the writing. I want you to show me the
well, no, because you don't do it for the Sunnah. For the Sunnah, it doesn't need to come from a writer.
I know, but you say that this is the word of God.
Yeah.
This is your base.
Why is it different?
You don't have hadith, you have this. You don't have hadith.
Well, wait. This is in effect like a hadith.
Yeah, where is the chains of narration?
No one has ever seen.
Can you prove?
Because I can quote you verses from this book that are from multiple people, so it's mutawatir, all going back to Isa.
Let me reform the question. I'm sorry for my English is not perfect, but
that's okay. You're doing very well. That's okay.
God is in another dimension. God is spirit.
If I want to ask you now, right now, can you prove to me that this is the word of God? Can you prove?
The word became flesh.
What do you mean by proof?
Yeah.
Can you prove to me? Can you see, like, show me,
no one has ever
like,
seen God
in a historical way, anachronistical way?
Right. So what I would use as proof that this is the words of God that He has spoken through His prophets and inspired the Holy Spirit into the writings that are now this is through the resurrection of Christ. So for us, the fact that Jesus Christ, the Messiah, died and then resurrected 3 days later, that is proof.
What proof that He's
I would say that is the proof. Oh, what proof is He resurrected? The disciples' eyewitness.
Then the question eventually is, who assures to me that they told, or there are witnesses that saw the witnesses?
But Polycarp, Ignatius, Papias mentioned the resurrection, and they themselves knew John. So they knew one of the apostles.
Okay, but when you don't have, like we said, the chain of narration, this is a problem. You can be sure.
But this is a chain. I've given you the chain. Isa, John, Papias. That's one. That's one chain. Complete chain, right? And historically, there are things that, like, we don't have a time travel machine. We can't. But the good reason to believe is the fact the eyewitnesses of Jesus witnessed His resurrection, both His resurrection and His death. So He died on the cross. He then resurrected 3 days later. The eyewitnesses then saw Him afterwards. If you read the ending of John's Gospel, for example, it talks about how one of the disciples, Thomas, came up to Jesus, to Isa, and touched the nails in his hands. He said, "I would not believe until I see Him and I touch the nails in His hands." And he does. And he says, "My Lord and my God." He calls Jesus God.
This exact verse.
Yeah.
You cannot be sure about this exact verse, because in the entire Bible you are not sure about its origin. This is the problem. If you are not sure about this, you cannot be sure about anything in your tradition.
And says we can believe the scripture.
Yeah, the Quran affirms
The
it.
scripture that was revealed to Jesus, alayhi salam.
But Allah can't have lost it.
Not the Bible we have now.
Yeah, but Allah can't
was the earliest manuscript?
Well, wait, no, because
How can Allah lose?
in Surah 7, ayah
No, we did
157.
not lose the scripture.
Let me show you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Let me show you.
Believe the scripture revealed
Allah
before.
subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He revealed
misquote the Quran.
when He revealed,
You cannot misquote the Quran.
listen.
Well, let me show you this.
That's what it says.
Because the Quran has proofs in it that Muhammad used to tell people to come to Islam.
It's the scripture.
Let me show you. So the Quran talks about proofs that should lead the people of the book to Islam. And one of them is that Muhammad's name is mentioned in the writings they have.
In the original Bible.
No, in the writings. Let me show you. Let me show you.
What is that?
The original
Let me show you in the. Let's show you.
Torah,
Let me read this to you. All right, this is Surah 7, ayah 157. Look at the Arabic. Look at the Arabic, which are with them.
Which are with them.
Muhammad, you look at tafsir.
which are
Okay, so they have them.
the original one.
No,
And
so then they have them.
What you have now has been fabricated.
Wait, but Muhammad says.
Wait,
Okay, all right.
Surely you don't have the Bible that Arabs have. Sure, the Bible in Arabic that.
Do you know what the earliest Arabic Bibles are? The earliest Arabic Bibles are exactly what we have. The earliest manuscripts are the same. And you know how it got translated into Arabic? Wait. The earliest time the Bible got translated into Arabic was in Muslim lands, when Muslims were conquered.
Yeah.
And they translated it into what we have today. Like, that is the same.
Arabic Bible is what, like, after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
But the earliest evidence to know what Muhammad would have had at his time confirms what we have.
No.
Because it's the same. Same thing, they translated it into what we have today, just in Arabic.
Well, that's one thing. We have the flight.
Yeah, we have to go.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Because
don't
we
want
just
to miss
missed
your
the
flight.
bus before.
Oh, sorry, man.
Because the flight in the 7:30. We have 10 minutes. 10
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the earliest Bible do you have? The earliest manuscript?
The earliest manuscript is P52,
Yeah.
which is a small section of John 18.
Card,
Yeah, John 18.
The first century, second century.
Mid-second century.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the earliest complete manuscript of first, the New Testament, for example.
The first one,
The
you probably
first
say
century.
Codex Sinaiticus or
Codex
Codex
Sinaiticus, the
Vaticanus
first
or Codex Alexandrinus, because they all come about the same time.
Yes.
Because Christianity was legalized basically at this point, so you started to see a large amount of funding going into making Bibles, whereas before it was persecuted. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the question is, if you don't have the original Bible, so the brothers is saying that the Quran said that you have to believe the earliest scripture.
Right.
The earliest scripture is not the Bible.
No. You have to believe what they had with them.
What is with them?
Right. So
Not the Bible.
the-
But
all of
Jesus quotes
wait.
the Old Testament. We have the whole of the Old Testament. Jesus quotes.
Oh yeah, Isa affirmed the whole Old Testament, and we know what the Old Testament was because of the Dead Sea Scrolls. That predates Isa. So Isa came, and then he affirmed the Torah. And he affirmed, yeah.
Because he knows the original Torah, not what.
Yeah, but no, because we know what they were reading at the time because of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And do you know what it is? It's the same as what we have today.
That's it. No, it's not the same.
My point is,
different with
what I'm saying is, okay, so
the Jews
wait.
don't accept.
Yeah.
In
He said that the writing it was written by a heresy group. He believed the mainly part of the Isaiah, etc. But it's not a complete
Right.
manuscript.
Okay, show me a single manuscript of the Old Testament that is not what we have here. No, my point is you won't find something that is Islamic. You won't find something that talks about Ahmed, because in the Quran it says that in the Injil and in the Torah, the original ones, so to speak, or at least the ones that they had with them, that you're supposed to find Muhammad's name mentioned in it. If you showed me a manuscript of the Old Testament, particularly the Torah, where it has Muhammad's name in it, you'd have some ground to stand on. But that manuscript doesn't exist.
This is not the Bible that they had.
It's Dead Sea Scrolls.
No, it's not.
But the Dead Sea Scrolls,
This is the question.
I'm not sure what that version is. But my point is that the
I don't
so
know.
I don't think it's too possible.
66 books that make one.
Okay, but my point is that it's clear in the Quran that he affirmed what Muhammad had at his time was meant to be the Injil and the Torah.
Sorry?
What Muhammad had at his time is the Injil and the Torah, according to your Quran. But we know what they read.
It is still not the
Okay,
original
so
Quran.
did Muhammad and his companions, or I think it was mostly his companions, did they go to Ethiopia before they went to Medina?
Yeah,
Okay, you know Ethiopia was a Christian nation.
yeah.
Do you know what they would have been reading? Actually, we know what they read because of the Garima Gospels. The Garima Gospels are a complete Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John from around the 4th century. They had it at the time of Muhammad. Muhammad's companions went to Ethiopia, and they said there are the hadith that said that they went in churches,
Yeah.
and they were upset because they saw pictures.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what they would have been reading?
What's your point?
That.
Yeah, but what's your point?
No,
They would have been reading that.
Yeah.
So you believe that?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
They knew that the name of the prophet is not there, so they knew that.
Say again?
It's not new. We know that.
But
the name of
show me a hadith or anything that says it's wrong.
66, right?
Show me anything, man. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
Everything in the Quran and the Sunnah affirms the previous scriptures.
Yes.
And this is not a Catholic Bible.
Which one is this?
So this
King
is
James
the,
and
no, this is the
What
international.
am I looking at? Sorry, I might.
It's not a Catholic Bible. The Catholic have more, which we
This one is the
don't have in our
66,
Bible.
yeah, right.
So that's the answer.
So he's saying that the Ethiopian Bible was the true Bible, right?
Where he said that Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John, the Ethiopian.
Yeah. It's called the Garima Gospels. You can Google
How many
it.
books have we there?
That's what it is. It's just the gospel accounts.
Only that.
And it has beautiful pictures. It has beautiful pictures of the evangelists. Like, check it out today. It's dated to the 4th century. So Al-Qaeda, I have 43. But how did it come to you for talking to Muhammad when you have the Torah, in which is Allah's judgment? Do you know that's a lot of Torah, right? So Muhammad just affirmed a large part of the Torah. Do you know what one of them is? It's Deuteronomy 18:1. Do you know what it says in it? It says that the children of God. Wait, are you seeing this? Are you seeing?
No.
Oh no!
Because he said that you are.
You see, that's what happens when Muslims are scared.
No. You are used to cut videos. Why?
No, we don't cut videos.
I don't know.
We betray everything as it is. We
don't
won't
know.
cut any of this. We won't cut any of
This is the
this.
first time we are here. I don't know.
Well, you will see that we don't cut anything. Yeah.
He's from here. He said that
Well,
you do.
me and him know each other. Like he doesn't like me, so
he know better. You
just means that you made some sense.
I've made some sense. And see,
This the
that's Bob. Yeah, that's Bob the builder. Go say hello if you want.
Muhammad Ali saw you run.
He didn't vote for Muhammad Ali.
See you.
All right then. God bless, brother. So that was a really good conversation with two very polite brothers in humanity. They are Muslim and they were coming from Italy to check out Speaker's Corner. Hopefully they had a nice time. They got to speak with at least me as a Christian, so they got to hear the Christian perspective of Speaker's Corner. Mark was here as well, and he was doing a great job talking about the Gospels. I went through some interesting ideas. The idea that I wanted to touch on, that I got to touch just briefly with them, was the fact that we have our own Sahih Mutawatir Isnads for Isa, or for our Jesus. They call him Isa, but we know his name is Jesus. We have our own Isnads that we can validate the sayings that Jesus said at his own time through the apostles and through the disciples of the apostles. I gave some examples. So through Isa, Jesus, we have the apostle John, who was an eyewitness. through the Apostle John, there is Polycarp, who was a bishop. He also learned his stuff from John. Likewise with Ignatius, likewise with Papias. We have these different accounts, these unique isnads that validate the things that the Christians say. Using their own criteria, the science of hadith, why is it they accept their own sunnah that supposedly tells them what Muhammad said, even though it comes many hundreds of years later, simply because they have these chains, when we have our own chains that are mutawatir, that are multiply attested, that are completely strong, they are sahih, and yet they reject them. Why do they reject them? Because they know they contradict with what Muhammad told them about Isa. Muhammad said that Isa was never crucified. We know that's not true because of the eyewitness testimony and our isnads that tell us that was true. Muhammad said that God is a father to no one. We know that's not true at all because we know that through our isnads and through people who were eyewitnesses to Jesus, that actually Jesus was the Son of God and the Jewish people are sons to their Father in heaven. So likewise, we have good reason for believing what we believe, but Muslims cannot deal with that. There is no way around it. They have set up a standard that we not only meet, we succeed in our own isnads.